So when the natural eye looks at Luke 14 and what the Lord said about picking and choosing the higher seats and then making sure that you sit lower so that eventually you get honor. When the natural mind sees that, then we see the reverse psychology and we think, okay, so that's the way to get honor for myself. That is not the key of the parable at all. Actually, Jesus is talking about how we need to live outside of that system, how we need to just sort of break the system, crash the system. It's a table of merit where the Lord of the table is choosing who is more important and who is less. And we are sitting at that table, but we are not part of that system. We're just sitting wherever, and then if they honor us, then that's their business, but we're not looking for it. We're not interested. So that's an amazing story, but then that comes into our life in every area. And I just want to talk about the church at this moment, and welcome to this morning's Jolt. So in 2 Corinthians 10:12, Paul said, "For we dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they, measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise." Paul is basically saying, I'm not interested in this comparison and seeking honor for myself. And this was very important in his day because there were many other teachers who were teaching false doctrine, and Paul was a true apostle, truly representing the grace of God and the cross of Christ and the body life, and he had amazing revelations from God. And then these other people were looking for their honor, and Paul said, I'm not interested in comparing myself to them and honoring myself in comparison to them. So this is really wonderful, and this is an amazing point for all of us, for you and me, because in this world, to get ahead, you need to honor yourself. You need to know how to promote yourself. If you don't do that, you will never be the president of the universe or whatever you're looking for. And it's true. The world does not honor someone who doesn't honor themselves. But which table are you sitting at? And if you're sitting at the table of grace, then you realize that whole endeavor, that whole game they're playing, it's just not so interesting. It's not contentful, actually. The world honors you, the world claps for you, but how many celebrities are lonely? How many people who are on the top of some ladder that they climbed feel insecure and unsatisfied and unfulfilled? How many? And many we hear those stories and we see those stories, and this is the question to you and to me. Will I in my heart dare to sit at the table of grace and say, no, I'm not comparing myself to you, my brother, my sister. I'm not comparing myself to some amazing teacher or to some terrible person and feel better about myself. I'm not interested about that. I am made by God who I am, and I'm accepting that. And do you? And that's an amazing question. When you sit at the table of grace, then you stop comparing, and you also don't, how did it say? You do not commend yourself. You do not say, look at me, I am this, I am that, I am that. Okay, you're looking for a job interview. Of course, you're going to write that, what you can do. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about promoting ourselves so that we would have some self-worth, and promoting ourselves so that others would honor us. And that's just not the place where God wants us, because if in our hearts we dare to sit at the table of grace, then all this goes out, and it's such an unnecessary burden that just is lifted from us. So God bless you with that jolt, and I trust that it jolted your spiritual heart. See you here tomorrow.